Imagine collecting every belt in jiu-jitsu, from that first stiff, hopeful white belt to the worn-in, comfortable black belt. It can take more than a decade on the mats to collect them all. But the promotion that means the most, the one that really defines the journey, isn't the one you'd think. It isn't getting that black belt tied around the waist. No. For many, it's a battered and frayed purple belt that comes after a period that nearly makes them quit for good. This is the story of the promotion that can almost break a person, and why the hardest fight is often not for the black belt. The ordinary world, the white belt promise. Every jiu-jitsu story begins in the same place, with a white belt tied awkwardly around your waist. It's a symbol of pure potential, a blank slate. Everyone remembers their first day, the smell of the mats, the weird feeling of the gi, and the overwhelming sense of knowing absolutely nothing. It is humbling, to say the least. Maybe you came from a background where you were used to feeling strong and capable, like weightlifting. On the mats, none of that matters. You're a fish out of water, getting tapped out by people half your size, no matter their age or gender. And look, we all start here, drowning in a sea of arm bars, triangle chokes, and positions we can't even name yet. The first few months are just a technical overload. You're not trying to win, you're just trying to remember to breathe. It's about learning to be comfortable being uncomfortable, to stay calm when someone is, quite literally, trying to strangle you. That anxiety before sparring is real. Your heart pounding in your chest before you slap hands is a rite of passage. But as a white belt, progress feels real and tangible. Every new technique you learn, every escape you finally hit in a live roll feels like a massive win. You can almost see yourself getting better week by week. The journey from white to blue, which for most people takes about 1 to 2 years of consistent training, is where you build your foundation. You're learning the alphabet of jiu-jitsu. Getting that blue belt is an incredible moment. It's the first real piece of validation. It's a sign that you didn't quit when most people do. There's a common saying in the BJJ community that up to 90% of people who start jiu-jitsu quit at white belt. So, having that blue belt wrapped around your waist feels like you've survived the first big test. You're no longer a total beginner. You are, in the grand scheme of things, better at grappling than the vast majority of people on the planet. You feel so proud, like you finally arrived. You think, okay, I've got a handle on this jiu-jitsu thing. The hardest part must be over. You would be wrong. So wrong. The comfort of that blue belt is a lie. It isn't an arrival, it's just the starting line for a much longer, more brutal race. You have no idea you're about to walk straight into an invisible wall, a time in your life that will test you in ways you couldn't have possibly imagined. The blue belt blues. An ocean of despair. There's a well-known phenomenon in jiu-jitsu called the blue belt blues. It's a period of intense frustration and stagnation that hits a lot of people right after they get promoted. But for many, it isn't just the blues. It can be a deep, dark abyss. It is, without a doubt, one of the hardest, most psychologically draining periods of the entire martial arts journey. Spending years as a blue belt, which can feel like an eternity, is like treading water in the middle of a cold, unforgiving ocean with no land in sight. Getting your blue belt changes the whole dynamic in the gym. As a white belt, you're the new kid. People are patient, coaches give you a bit more attention, and every small win is a big deal. The moment you get that blue belt, the training wheels come off. Suddenly, you're just another blue belt in a sea of them, and the instructor's focus naturally shifts to the new white belts. It's easy to feel like you've been abandoned, left to figure out advanced calculus with only a basic grasp of arithmetic. The most crushing part is how your progress just seems to evaporate. At white belt, you're a sponge, soaking up everything and seeing results almost immediately. At blue belt, that fire hose of progress slows to a drip and then feels like it dries up completely. You're learning more techniques than ever, collecting moves like trading cards. You have this whole library of submissions in your head, but during a live roll, you can't access a single one. There's this huge gap between knowing a technique and being able to actually apply it against someone fighting back. This is often called the technique trap. You think the answer is to learn more, so you watch more instructionals and drill more fancy moves, but your performance doesn't get any better. You just get more confused. It's like having a garage full of expensive power tools, but no idea how to build a simple birdhouse. And then there's the pressure. As a new blue belt, you feel this massive weight of expectation. You feel like you should be able to handle any white belt. But the reality is, a fresh blue belt is just a 4-stripe white belt. Now, those hungry, athletic white belts who are close to their own promotion see you as a target. You've got a bullseye on your back, and when one of them catches you, when a big, strong newcomer who's all muscle taps you out, the humiliation is intense. It feels like it confirms your deepest fear. You're an imposter, and you never deserved this belt. Imagine a roll that just shatters your confidence. Maybe it's with a white belt, a new person who is incredibly strong. They don't move like a JiuJitsu player. They're just chaotic, unpredictable energy. They don't follow any of the rules you've learned. They just come at you, a whirlwind of muscle and aggression. You try to use your technique to set up sweeps and subs, but it's like trying to build a house of cards in a hurricane. They pass your guard, pin you, and you can't move. You feel completely helpless. The 5 minutes of that round feel like an eternity. When the timer goes off, you just lie there, gasping for air, feeling utterly defeated. It wasn't just a loss, it feels like an invalidation of everything you thought you'd learned. This keeps happening. You feel stuck. You're not a beginner anymore, but you are nowhere near competent. You'll have good days where things click, giving you a glimmer of hope. But they are always followed by bad weeks where you feel like you're actually getting worse. The gym, which used to be a sanctuary, starts to feel like a place of judgment. You start making excuses not to go. You're too tired, too busy, or your shoulder is sore. The truth is, you're afraid of another night of failure, another reminder of your own inadequacy. This is where jiu-jitsu stops being a physical fight and becomes a purely mental one. The blue belt journey is a war of attrition inside your own head. It's the point where you have to decide if you love the process itself, not just the feeling of making progress. A lot of people don't. The attrition rate at blue belt is huge. For every purple belt you see, there are countless blue belts who just quietly disappeared, their gis collecting dust in a closet. Many come so close to being one of them. There are times practitioners sit in their car in the gym parking lot, seriously debating whether to go in or just drive home and quit for good. You feel broken. The joy is gone, replaced by dread. You've slammed into an invisible wall and have no idea how to get over, under, or around it. The breakthrough, a glimmer of purple. The change doesn't happen overnight. There's no single aha moment, no magic technique that fixes everything. It's a slow, grueling process of just showing up, especially when you don't want to. It requires a conscious decision to let go of the ego. Often, the real turning point is a conversation with a coach. Imagine you've just had a terrible night of training, getting tapped by almost everyone. You're quiet, dejected, and just want to get out of there. Your coach comes over and simply asks, "You okay?" And you just break. You tell them everything, that you feel like you're not getting any better, that you're thinking about quitting, that you feel like a total fraud. They just listen. When you're done, they don't give some big motivational speech. They just say, "Good, that's how you're supposed to feel." Blue belt is hard because you finally know enough to realize how much you don't know. Stop trying to win, stop counting taps, just focus on one thing. For the next month, just focus on not getting your guard passed. That's it. Survive. It's such simple advice, but it can shift your entire perspective. It takes the pressure of winning off the table and replaces it with the goal of learning. You stop trying to be a submission hunter and become a student of defense. You obsess over your frames, your hip movement, and your guard retention. And slowly, things start to change. You're still getting tapped, but now they have to work for it. Rolls that used to be over in 30 seconds are lasting 3, 4, even the full 5 minutes. You start to see the game in a new light. It isn't about collecting moves, it's about understanding interconnected systems. Instead of just adding more techniques, you start focusing on making the ones you already know better. The journey is no longer about quantity, it's about quality. It can take years of this focused, deliberate practice. Years of grinding, of tiny breakthroughs and frustrating setbacks. But the despair is gone, replaced by a quiet determination. You found a new way to measure progress, one that doesn't depend on who tapped who. The day you get your purple belt might be a complete surprise. It could be at the end of a normal class. Your coach is giving out stripes and then calls your name. They talk for a few minutes about the journey, about the struggle they've watched practitioners go through, and about the perseverance they have seen. They might say the purple belt isn't a reward for being good. It's a reward for not quitting when things got hard. When they tie that belt around your waist, it isn't just pride. It's this overwhelming sense of relief. It feels like you finally reached the shore after being lost at sea for years. That purple belt isn't just a new color. It's a testament to the hardest fight you've ever won, the fight against your own mind. It represents the moment a person stops being a student of techniques and starts becoming a student of jiu-jitsu. The path forward, refinement and responsibility. Getting that purple belt is like hitting a reset button. The psychological weight that can crush you at blue belt just lifts. The expectations, the pressure to perform, it all seems to fade. Purple belt is a different world. For the first time in years, you might feel like you can relax and actually experiment, to stop stressing about performance and just enjoy the process again. The war fought through blue belt forges a new mindset. You learn the hard way that progress isn't a straight line, and that your ego is the enemy. That lesson is the key to navigating the higher belts. The journey from purple to brown is a different kind of challenge. It's less about survival and more about refinement. You're not just learning moves anymore. You're learning the principles underneath them: timing, pressure, and momentum. The focus shifts from having a huge arsenal to mastering a smaller, more effective one. It's about chaining techniques together into fluid, seamless combinations. This phase is its own philosophical gauntlet. You have to unlearn bad habits from your white and blue belt days. You have to retrain your body to feel the momentum instead of just seeing an opening. It's frustrating in a new way, not the despair of the blue belt plateau, but the quiet grind of polishing a stone, knowing it takes thousands of reps to make it smooth. At purple belt, you also become a more senior figure in the gym. Lower belts look up to you, and upper belts start seeing you as a peer. This brings a new kind of pressure. The ego can creep back in, that feeling that you shouldn't get tapped by a blue belt. But the lessons from that blue belt hell can keep you anchored. You remember what it felt like to be that hungry blue belt, and it helps keep things in perspective. Having blue belt days where you get caught is inevitable. Instead of it crushing your ego, you learn to see it as a diagnostic tool, a way to find holes in your game that still need work. The transition to brown belt, which often takes a few more years, feels like a natural progression. A brown belt is essentially a black belt in training. There's a sentiment in BJJ, often echoed by legends like Xanda Ribeiro, that a brown belt is so technically proficient that the promotion to black belt is more about maturation and readiness. You have the technical knowledge, but you're still refining the application, the timing, and most importantly, the mindset. At brown belt, the final shift happens. The journey becomes less about you and more about your responsibility to the art and your teammates. You're one of the leaders in the room now. You're expected to help teach, to mentor the white and blue belts, and to be a role model. Your training isn't just for you anymore, it's for the good of the whole gym. That's its own challenge, not just executing a move, but being able to explain the why behind it to someone who's struggling. a coach isn't just evaluating skill anymore. They're evaluating character and readiness to represent their lineage. This is the final test. The transition from being just a fighter to being a martial artist. For many, the journey is anything but linear, and the blue to purple promotion is their crucible. It is the fire that forges the mental fortitude needed for the rest of the path. It's no surprise that studies suggest that BJJ practitioners tend to show greater mental strength, resilience, and grit as they advance in rank. From experience, those qualities aren't just handed to you with a new belt, they're earned in the trenches. But this is just one story. Everyone's path in jiu-jitsu is unique. The belt that challenges one person might be a breeze for another. That's why we want to hear from you. What was the hardest promotion for you? Which belt tested you the most and made you question everything? Share your story in the comments.